lovely crafty people, and we are back today with day 6 of Junk Journal January, a collaboration project between many different crafty YouTubers and hosted by Sandra at Be Happy Stationery and Lindsay at the Vintage Button. So today is day 6. That was yesterday. Simple. Sometimes simplicity is the key. And as I said in yesterday's video, the idea of Junk Journal January is just kind of give you something little to do in this yucky dark of Christmas. So today is Nest, and I've used a pocket from the kit designed by Sandra and Jeanette at Crafting Dragon Designs. And we're going to kind of create a bit of a nesty feel. So for this, I've picked out the owls. Oh, I didn't want to cut that bottom bit off, but that's okay. I've picked out the owl as my focus point for today because nesting, birds, kind of just goes. And we're just going to create a little pocket using the pocket off the kit. And just... Okay, and then we're going to just fold over those edges, and I want them folded over. And do the same on the other side, fold it over, and then that's going to create kind of a wintry pocket. Okay, what I might do is fold that one in a little bit more, just to bring, just folding it in a little bit more just to kind of even that out. So I don't quite need quite so much of an edge. Snip that off. And I don't need quite so much of a tab there either. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that down. I might even glue it. Don't know yet. But then I've got the little owl and some of my wrapping paper that I'm using on each page. And then I've got this was from Red Onions. It's just the netting. But actually it goes in with the colour scheme. I have like a stash behind me of all bits and bobs like this. Because they're quite good when creating collages, just to give that little bit of texture. So I'm just going to pull it out a bit. Yep. And I'm just going to cut a square-ish. Would help if my scissors weren't blunt. I know I've said it before, but I really do need to sharpen my scissors. They're all a bit... Ugh. Okay, just tearing that up a bit. So that's going to go on there as well to create that nest. And then I'm going to use some fibres from this string. So I'm just going to pull it apart. Just pulling the string apart just to get those fibres, because they're quite nesty. They're quite twig-like. Just creating a bit of texture and collage. Give it that nesty feel. Feel like a Victorian woman in a workhouse pulling apart the fibres of string. Not quite. Just pulling them apart, just to give me that nesty texture. Okay, and with that square, I'm just going to put some in front and some behind, just creating that kind of bird's nesty. Just pushing them together, munching them together. Just create a bit of a bird's nest effect. And I'm going to probably have to use some Yoo-hoo just to stick the nest down. And I am going to let that dry because the Yoo-hoo glue, what it does is it interacts with the ink on the printed sheet, and it kind of, it's not great. And then I'm going to use the Yoo-hoo again, just a little line down there, little line across the bottom, coming up. Okay, and where should we stick it? So I might stick it just in this corner over this winter bush. Just sticking it down. Okay, the nest word can go up in the top corner, nice and simple. And my nest, a little bit of Yoo-hoo glue on, my nest is going to come over the edge of the pocket. Okay, so you've got that nesty feel. Let's stick our owls down. Okay, and then I've got just a very simple textured layered kind of cluster. We've also got a pocket to pop things in. So in the kit you've got these little journal cards, and you've got some tags, and what I'm going to do is, using the little journal cards, I'm going to have them in there. So I'm going to back those while that dries. I'm going to back those onto book paper. Do like to use a bit of book paper. So we'll have that one on there, just going at an angle. And we'll tear them off in a minute. Put the lid on that glue. And then we're going to tear around the edge of each of the little journal cards. I am really enjoying just the simplicity of this project. As I said last video, Junk Journal July, I went all out, and the journal is so thick and I put a lot of effort into it, but it was kind of my start on the YouTube journey. And I'm beginning to realise you don't have to do everything all singing, all dancing sometimes, and just using this kit and bits and bobs I've got around the house is just helping me to really focus on the beauty of the kit and not get caught up in all the gubbins and the necessity to have everything perfect or polished. So I'm just gonna, where have I put my book pages now? There's another one. No, that won't put on there. Bearing with. Got a whole pile of them under here. There we go. So these are just pulled out of a book that I was going to use for Junk Journal January, but I wanted to use the collage papers as backgrounds, and the book wasn't quite big enough for the papers. So I'm using the pages out of it instead, and I'll probably use the book for another project at some point. Yeah, but you can change your mind, can't you? And then we'll just tear around those as well, keeping it nice and close. Just gives it that little bit of stability. And as always, as you do with design, I've got 3 cards, 3s and 5s. And these 3 cards will be little journal cards that are popped in the journal. And then I want to do something at the top. Maybe find a nesty type quote. So they're just going to pop in there. Just might actually just pop them in so they kind of just stick up like that. And then, so that pretty much is that page done. So you've got space for journal cards. You've got your little nest the owls from the kit, and then I just want to think about something to go round the outside, round the outside. So bearing with, I'm just going to have a little think, and then I'll come back and finish this one. And we are back, and I have found a dictionary definition of nest: a place of retreat, rest or lodging. And I thought that'd be perfect, actually. So also what I've done is I've stuck a bit of the scrap roll in the pocket, just so it gives it a background for it to rest on. And then here is the quote. Let me grab a little bit of something. What do I want? I want something to go behind that. Let's have a look. What have we got in the drawer? Ah, here we go. So we're just going to have a bit of Amazon paper. Pop that out the way. Stick that on there. That's kind of like that. There's my ruler. I have about a centimetre on each. Okay, coming in. Okay, see if we can't make that a little bit smaller. Matter. Right, so we've got nest, is a noun, is a place of retreat, rest or lodging. And actually that really just ties in with the whole of the kind of Junk Journal January. It's all a kind of a place of rest, of just doing what you need to do, not stressing about anything too much. Let's just give that a little border frame. And the image is just torn out of one of the pages from the kit. Okay, so that can be glued into there, and then that's that page done. So tomorrow is one of my specific focus days. Tomorrow, day 7, is snowflakes. So yeah, enjoy Junk Journal January. Do check out Sandra from Be Happy Stationery's playlist. Lindsay is posting videos most days, and on the playlist will be links to other YouTubers who are also taking part in Junk Journal January. And just enjoy the chilled element of just creating something in January with no pressure and no kind of having to buy loads of new stuff. This for me is really out my comfort zone, because I do have a tendency to overcraft, is that a word? But yeah, so I'm really enjoying just doing the simple things and trashing the place. There you go. And we'll see you tomorrow for day 7, which is snowflakes. See you soon.